Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. My name is TJ, and if it's your first time here, then welcome to my channel and thank you for tuning in. It's so nice to have you here. In today's video, we are going to be discussing how to lose weight and what to do now that lockdown is coming to an end. In the UK, we now have a day to come out of lockdown. Yes, praise. But I'm sure many of you are still stuck at home, so in today's video, I'll be giving tips to suit everybody. I'm sure due to the lockdown, many of you have had a change in lifestyle. I know I have for sure, and unfortunately it's not always for the better, but today we are going to combat that. So this video is really for anyone who's put on extra weight during the lockdown. I know I have certainly put on extra weight during the lockdown, partially due to surgery and medication which I had during the lockdown, but also because I've just been enjoying my time relaxing too, you know, hashtag self-care. But now that we have a date for the end of the lockdown, I am now feeling extra motivated to lose the weight that I gained. So with that being said, let's get into the tips. If you're not already subscribed, please think about subscribing to my channel. I release new videos every Wednesday at 6 PM, and if you ring the bell, you'll be notified weekly of when my new videos come out. So before I get into the tips, guys, I just want to let you know that the most important factor when it comes to losing weight is being in a calorie deficit. It's the most important factor when it comes to losing weight, and I'm going to talk more about MyFitnessPal, weighing food, weighing yourself and counting calories later. But for now, I want to start off nice and simple and work my way up into the tips that involve a lot more effort. So with all that being said, let's get into tip number one. So tip number one is to assess your lifestyle. What's changed in your lifestyle since lockdown started? That is something you need to ask yourself, as that's going to be a good starting point for your goal of losing weight. So when you think about changing your body composition, the two things that you're probably going to think about are diet and your exercise, and they're the two things that you need to think about in your first step. What's changed? How has your lifestyle changed before lockdown and now that we're in a lockdown? And how do you want to change it as well? So are you eating more food than before? Are you eating more calorific foods than before? Food that's really high in calories. Maybe your food hasn't changed at all. Maybe you're still eating the exact same diet that you were eating before lockdown. But what about your exercise? Are you exercising still? Have you been sat on the couch for the last 6 months watching Netflix? That's okay if that's true, but these are questions that you need to ask yourself so you know what to do moving forward. So once you've assessed your current lifestyle and you've answered this question, that's really when you can start to move forward. The reason assessing your current lifestyle is so important is because if you go online, if you go on social media, you will find all these crazy diets, all these crazy workouts, and although some of these workouts are good, the diets not so much. Engaging in a diet or a new workout can really lead to such an extreme change in your lifestyle, which is probably going to lead to having a negative effect on your goal. For example, if you're someone who is eating a lot of junk food right now and you're eating like 3,000 calories a day, and then you go from eating 3,000 calories a day to eating 1,000 calories a day, that is a huge change in the amount of calories your body is getting each day, and unfortunately you will crash and burn. So that is something I really recommend that you don't do, is the massive extreme changes. The best way to make changes in your lifestyle is to implement them slowly so that in the long term those things will stick with your lifestyle. It's more of a lifestyle change rather than a quick diet change, okay? The same goes with workouts. If you're someone who hasn't really moved in the last 6 months, and by the way, there's nothing wrong with that, but make sure you're truthful with yourself. So like I said, if you're someone who hasn't moved for the last 6 months, and then you go on a crazy HIIT workout, or you do a 5K run in one go, you are going to suffer the next couple of days, maybe even a week. Your muscles are going to hurt and you are going to be exhausted. The problem with that is those next couple of days afterwards, you're going to do nothing again, when really if you had just dialed it down a little bit, like simmered it down a little bit, you could keep exercising those following days, creating a bigger calorie change. So that's tip number one, to assess your current lifestyle, assess your food intake, and assess your exercise routine. And then to start thinking about how you can change your lifestyle slowly and not implement huge extreme changes which are going to have a negative effect on your long-term goals. So that brings me to tip number 2, food. Let's talk about food. So now that you've assessed your lifestyle, you will now know whether there's a problem or not with the food that you're currently eating. And now I'm going to talk to you about what you can do to implement those small changes which can make a big difference in your overall calories. So one of the easiest things you can do is to add or subtract. For example, if you have set meals which you eat every single day, which is something I would really recommend doing moving forward, what you can do is look at all the ingredients in that meal, take away something that's high in calories and replace it with something that's lower in calories. This will result in less calories being consumed overall, but not a huge difference to that meal, which makes it a small change with a big difference, which is really helpful. Now, an example I have for you guys is one of the meals that I eat. I eat tofu wraps nearly every single day. I've recently started on the path to become vegan, and I love these wraps so much because they're 100% vegan and they are really delicious. The problem is I downloaded MyFitnessPal again and I started scanning all the ingredients I put into that wrap. First thing I noticed was that the actual wrap that I use is 200 calories and the plant-based mayo that I put in the wrap per wrap gives me 150 calories. So that's 350 calories with the wrap and the mayo. But then when I add the tofu and all the other salad that I have in the wrap, I end up with about 500 calories per wrap. Now, I love my wraps, I really enjoy them, but 500 calories per wrap is way too high because I guarantee you I always have more than one wrap. So the change that I made to those wraps was to take away the mayo, because even though I like the mayo, I decided I could add beetroot. And you may be thinking, beetroot mayo? I'd rather have mayo, but bear with me. Beetroot has a lot of flavour and it can make something such as a bland wrap really tasty. So I subtracted the mayo, added the beetroot, and I ended up saving myself 150 calories on each wrap, resulting in the wraps being around 350 calories per wrap, which is better because, like I said, I always eat more than one wrap. It's a big change in the calories, but it's a small change in my actual meal because, to be honest, I don't even notice that the mayo is missing because the beetroot adds so much flavour into the wrap. Another way you could do this would be to change your wrap into a salad. So basically you're going to have everything that you have inside the wrap just without the wrap. So you can still have mayo or whatever dressing you use, but because you've eliminated the wrap, you're now going to save yourself 200 calories. And if you're like me and you have 2 wraps, maybe even 3 wraps some days, you're possibly saving yourself 2, 4, 600 calories just on the wraps. Another thing to think about is the drinks that you have. Yes, unfortunately, drinks do have calories and some drinks can be extremely high in calories, and it goes unnoticed because most people think that drinks do not have calories in them. Now, although this isn't so much a nutritious tip that I'm giving you, if you're someone who likes to drink a lot of cola, other fizzy drinks too, maybe you can go from the full fat versions to the 0 calorie versions. Like I said, this isn't nutritious and it's not healthy, but in terms of losing weight, it still works because calories is more important than the nutritional value of the foods that you eat. Now, I'm not recommending that you eat loads of junk food, but I am saying that the calories is the most important factor. Coke Zero is just as nice as the regular version of Coke. In my opinion, I really like it, and it means that I can still drink Coke but with no calories. And it also means that I don't have to worry about scanning the Coke because I already know it has 0 calories in it. Another thing you can do is to start and drink more water. Just drinking extra water can make us feel more full because sometimes you will start to feel hunger pains, especially if you do start a diet, and having a glass of water can fix that problem. But in reality, a lot of people will end up going to the fridge and eat something to crave those hunger pains. Like I said before, don't do like an extreme change. So don't go from drinking Coke, coffee, alcohol, then only drinking water every single day because you're not going to enjoy it. It's too big of a change and that change won't last either. So just start off by thinking in your head, maybe I should have a glass of water. Maybe have 1 glass a day, another day have 2 glasses, and just work your way up. Water is great for your body and it's also great for your skin too and your hair. So just think about having more water rather than eliminating all the drinks that you currently have and just going to water. Now, speaking of alcohol, this is a huge one and it's something that can really help in reducing your calories, and I really recommend that if you drink a lot of alcohol that you start to think about cutting down. Alcohol can contain a lot of calories and we don't even realize it because, like I said, people don't really tend to think of drinks having much calories, but alcohol can be loaded with calories. So think about cutting down on alcohol because cutting down on alcohol alone can save you so many calories, which can put you into a calorie deficit so easily. Let's move on to tip number 3, which is your exercise. Now, I started off with food because your diet is more important than your exercise when it comes to burning calories and losing weight, but your exercise can really help you to burn more calories, which can allow you to eat more food, which can make it easier to actually go into a calorie deficit to result in losing weight. And maybe you don't actually want to change your diet, maybe you're happy with your diet, but you are happy to start exercising. And that's fine, because let's say you do no exercise at all, but you start walking. If you walk every day and you can burn like 400 calories a day just by walking, yeah, it will be a long walk, but that is something that you can definitely do. If you burn 400 calories every single day just by walking, that's 2,800 calories every single week. And all you've done is walk, that's it. You didn't have to change anything in your diet. All you've done is get up and go for a walk. Now, like I said before, assess your food and assess your exercise. So think about where you are right now. Don't think so much about where you want to be. I would like to be at the gym right now. I miss the gym so much. But the gyms are closed, so I'm thinking about where I am right now, which is at home. So I am working out from home. And I am lucky, I have equipment here at home. I have a full home gym, which I love, but you do not need to have any equipment to work out from home and to achieve a decent exercise routine. Like I said before, you can burn calories just by walking. Walking is so overlooked, and it's something that's so easy and requires no effort and no equipment to start doing. So if you're someone who hasn't exercised at all for the last 6 months, start walking. The only problem with walking is that in order to burn a high amount of calories, you have to walk for a long period of time. I enjoy doing that, but maybe you don't. So something you could do instead is jogging or running. But remember, I don't recommend going from sitting on the couch for 6 months watching Netflix to getting up and going for a 5k run, because you're going to feel it the next day, the next couple of days after that, maybe even a week. Your muscles are going to be sore and you're going to need time to rest after that, and that rest time could have been used more efficiently, such as going for a walk. I also have exercise routines on my YouTube channel, so go and check out some of my other videos. The exercise routines require little to no equipment and you can do them straight from the comfort of your living room. Just make sure whatever you're going to do when it comes to exercise, you do something that's in your ability right now, because having a break is okay. So if you're that person who was in the gym 5 days a week, doing HIIT routines a couple of nights a week, and you've gone from that to doing nothing, that's okay, because your body will get back into that. Your body will get used to doing those things again. Just work your way slowly into that person that you used to be before the lockdown happened. Now that brings us up to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is more of a what not to do, and we're going to be talking about diet. I do apologise, I have builders literally right outside my window and they're there all day, and it's really, really hard to film when the builders are out there making so much noise. Now, as we go back out of the lockdown, Now, as the gyms reopen, as we go out of the lockdown, you're gonna start to, oh my god. You're gonna start to see lots of diets pop up online, and it's tempting to, you know, buy the juice cleansing systems, to buy those needles that I've seen advertised as well. I beg you, stop. Do not do it. So diets are not good for your body. Most of the time they're not good for your body, and most of the time they're just like a quick fix, when in reality the best thing that you can do is change your lifestyle, and that way the long-term goals are going to be reached, rather than have some quick fix that's going to make you basically crash and burn. Now, when I discuss diet, I mean something like the Atkins diet, or say like a juice cleanse, and I've seen those things advertised by Gemma Collins, which is like a skinny jab, something like that. I don't know how it works properly, but trust me, it's bad. There are ways you can change your diet, but that's not exactly a diet. So going vegan, for example, that's more of a lifestyle change in terms of changing the food choices that you make. So going vegan or vegetarian isn't so much for diet, it's more of a change on the actual type of foods that you eat. And I just want to touch on going vegan or vegetarian, things like that, even like the keto diet. A lot of people think that by doing that they're instantly going to lose weight, but that doesn't necessarily work that way, and you could actually end up putting weight on. I think the main reason people lose weight a lot of the time when they go vegan or vegetarian is they just don't know what to eat and end up starving themselves, and that isn't a good thing. I will always be someone who recommends going vegan, going vegetarian. I think it's such a positive change in your lifestyle, but it's not something that I would ever recommend in order to lose weight. I will do a video in the future on why I've chosen to go down the path of becoming a vegan, but I can assure you it has nothing to do with losing weight. So it's a conversation for another time. So basically, if you want to lose weight, the first step which I'm giving you, which we've already touched on, is to assess your food and diet, right? So juice cleansers are huge. I've seen so many different juice cleansers online. You basically purchase all the bottles of juice, they get delivered to you, and that is basically your source of food for however long you're meant to do it for. And I've also seen injections online, and you can get pills that do the same thing, and basically they suppress your hunger levels so that you're not as hungry, which helps you to lose weight. But this is extremely dangerous because you're messing with your body. It can be so dangerous that you can cause damage to your body that's actually irreversible. So it's a huge recommendation of mine to stay away from any of that type of stuff. And with the juice cleansers, it's like, okay, yeah, maybe you could lose weight. I'm not saying you won't, because again, it's all about the calorie deficit. Having the juice cleansers probably will put you into a calorie deficit because you're basically starving yourself, but that is stupid in itself. But once you've done that, what do you do then? Because if you go from the juice cleanse to then eating how you were before, you're just going to put that weight back on. So in this video, we're really thinking about the long term, not the short term goals. So juice cleansers and these detox diets, they're huge all over the internet, but I would really recommend that you stay away from them because they're just a quick fix, and honestly, they're just a product of extremely good marketing. It's so easy to be tempted when you're on Instagram and you see the adverts for them, because the adverts are presented really, really well. Big stars also get paid a lot of money to advertise these products, but stay away, they're not going to help you. This is one of the sad things about the fitness industry and the health industry, is that a lot of brands will just market their products just to make money, when actually these products are not going to help you at all. So stay away from diets. So the last tip, which is tip number 5, this one requires the most effort, but the more effort you put into something, the better the results. So this is the best way to lose weight, or even gain weight, to be honest. Whatever you want to change in your body, this is the best way to do it. So I've spoke about assessing where you are right now, implementing small changes to your diet and to your exercise plan, staying away from diet programs, and now we're going to talk about calorie counting, MyFitnessPal, and weighing yourself and weighing your food for the best results possible. So like I've said, the most important factor to losing weight is being in a calorie deficit. Just like gaining weight, it's all about being in a calorie surplus. I really recommend that you count your calories, at least to begin with. So the first thing you can do is work out how much food you should be eating in a day. And the first thing you need to do is use what's called a macro calculator. Now your macros, what that means is your protein, your carbs, and your fat. So those 3 nutrients make up your macros. All of your calories that you consume for the whole day come from the 3 macros, which are your protein, carbs, and fat, and you can work out how much you need from each macro, but the most important thing is the overall number of calories that you consume a day. So basically, you need to go online and look for a macro calculator. I will also link one in the description box below, but you can use a few different ones, see what number seems to average out the best for you, and then stick with that. The macro calculators will also break down how much protein, carbs, and fat you should have in a day, and it will give you that number mostly in grams. The reason this is good is because the amount of, say, protein you have can really affect how your body looks even after you lose weight or even gain weight. So if you're someone who has been in the gym regularly, you've put on a lot of muscle, and now you want to do a cut, then you want to preserve as much muscle mass as possible. To do that, you need to have a high protein diet. So doing a macro calculator will help you to understand how much protein you need in a day. So step 1 is to use a macro calculator. I will put a link in the description box below. Once you've done that, you will have your overall calories for the day, and you'll also have the amount of grams you need in protein, fat, and carbs. I would then download MyFitnessPal. It's a free app. So the reason MyFitnessPal is great is because you can use that app to track all of your calories. So all you do is, whether it's an ingredient as part of a meal or whether you buy, say, a packaged meal, you just scan the barcode and it will tell you how many calories you have in that ingredient or meal, depending on how much of it you're going to use. My advice is to come up with meals that you're going to have daily, so that every single day you don't have to constantly scan all different ingredients, because if you make different meals every single day, that means you're going to have to weigh every single ingredient for every single meal and then scan everything separately. If you can try and make some sort of diet program for yourself and have set meals each day, you only have to do it once. So basically you'll make that meal one time, scan everything, and then you can save and log that particular meal. So then the next day when you come to have it, you just go onto your meal section on MyFitnessPal, click log, and it'll log the meal for you. That's going to save you so much time and energy, so you don't have to scan everything all over again. Now the third part of this is to weigh yourself. So the macro calculator is really great, but remember that it is an estimate on the amount of calories that you should have a day, but you should also weigh yourself to make sure that you are achieving your goals. Now the way I recommend to do this is to weigh yourself once a week at the same time, and from there decide whether you need to make any changes. So choose a day or time. I do a Monday and I do it as soon as I wake up. That way I have no food in my body, so I get a consistent reading every single week because I'm doing it at the same time and the same day each week. Because let's say I weigh myself on a Monday morning, so as soon as I've woken up, which is what I usually do, but then the week after I weigh myself on Monday night. The problem with the reading is that it won't be consistent, and what I mean by that is because I'm going to weigh myself in the evening the week after, I'm going to have all the food that I've ate throughout the day still in my system. And you've got to remember, guys, that when you eat something, it has weight, and that weight goes into your body. So if you choose to weigh yourself at the end of the day rather than the beginning, you're going to be heavier because you've got all that food, all those drinks in your system, which is adding weight to your body. So by not being consistent and weighing myself in the morning one week and then in the evening the next, the levels are going to be off, and it's going to either tell me that I've not lost as much weight as I thought I wanted to, it could tell me that I've stayed the same, or it could possibly tell me that I've even put on weight. And that's not good because it's going to make me think that I need to restrict my calories more in order to lose more weight. When in reality, if I kept the same time each week, which is fine if you do it in the evening because you're always going to weigh yourself when you've got food inside your body, that's fine. But I do it on a Monday morning, first thing when I wake up, because I have nothing in my system. So for me, it's the most consistent way of weighing myself. So then if one week I weigh myself and then the next week I weigh myself and I've gained weight or not lost any weight, then I know I need to make a change because that reading is consistent. So I will do a full video on tip number 5 so I can explain everything properly to you guys, because it's a lot to take in. But basically you need to do step 1, which is to get a macro calculator. There's one in the description box below. Find out the number of calories you should eat in a day. From there, download MyFitnessPal and start tracking your calories daily, and make sure you weigh yourself consistently once a week. I hope those tips were helpful to you guys and were inspiring now that we're coming out of the lockdown, and I hope I've managed to help you guys into having that first thought and that first step into changing your body composition. Leave me a comment down below whether these tips were helpful to you guys, and I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on videos that I should do in the future. And I just want to let you guys know that soon I will be opening up my website. I will let you guys know when that is, and on there I will be offering personalized meal plans and personalized exercise plans. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any of my videos, and ring the bell so that you are notified when my videos get uploaded. And I will see you next time. Bye!